My guess is it has to be the Beach Boys.
And it looks like we are off. And starting in Link's house, we do have just a piece of heart initially. And Durand is on his way up to the castle.
Yep, looks like he's going to do a standard open mode opening where he's going to take the sign, kill a guard, check the poultry, probably check our uncle, and see what's going on. And in a few seconds, I'm sure our two videos will be synced up, so that'll be nice.
Tier 1 tree pull looks like it's just a bunch of single rupees at this point in time, which is unfortunate.
Absolutely, and it looks like Axe doing the same thing, and we get a free mushroom over by the uncle.
I mean, why not start things off with a fetch quest? There's nothing wrong with fetch quests.
I was a little concerned here, because in the beginning, Durand started mostly walking his way out of Link's house, and Ack remembering immediately that he had the boots, but Durand realized he had the boots and went for a dash there around the uncle.
Did look like we had an early map check. It looked like a red pendant up in Tower of Hera, but then some crystals in Eastern Palace and Desert Palace. One of them was the 6th crystal. I think that was Desert.
Absolutely, and of note, in this mode, the 5-6 crystals aren't nearly as important. To get to the Pyramid Fairy, you can use either the mirror or those 2 crystals.
So very similar openings at this point in time for both Durand and Ack. Looks like we're going to see another Bonk Rocks check, which is just a big 20. Rupees really... Are they more important, less important right at the moment? I mean, you still have your Zora checks and your bomb purchases, but other than that, is it really necessary in any capacity?
Other than your standard checks, and you still have to pay for, like, if you were to happen to buy the big bomb or to get into Palace of Darkness, you may want the extra rupees for bottle adventuring in the overworld, which buying blue potions isn't the cheapest, and it's always nice to kind of have them. Not getting much out of the Hoarder here either. He's just tossing some hearts at our players.
Absolutely. So it looks like we're doing a quick Lumberjack ledge check, which is always smart because if you have to kill Aghanim, you want to know it relatively quickly. That looks like a bug net.
It's a unique item, but not required. So our runners are probably very happy to see that.
I don't know what you're talking about. It is the most required item ever.
The only required item in the game is the blue boomerang.
Truth. Oh, route divergence. Okay, big 20, and oh, hello, Moon Pearl.
Yes, a nice early Moon Pearl means basically the whole world's unlocked. So I hope to see some good route divergence at this point. I'm probably going to see both their runners clear out Kakariko. It's close by and it's a lot of locations. But this is big. I think another item our runners will be looking for this early in the game will be a sword, because sword makes doing a lot of the clips a little faster. Not that you can't do it without a select buffer or a menu buffer, but it does make it a lot faster. Not sure what Ack... Oh, Ack's going for a water walk here.
Okay, so he's setting up the water walk for the whirlpool that's over here?
Yeah, it looks like... My guess would be he's going to pop into the whirlpool, go and check what's on the island, maybe pick up Hobo. It's an interesting first play. It's going to give him a lot more knowledge. And even set him up for, like, Zora. I don't know if I would do this early, but... I mean, getting the Hobo out of the way and seeing what's on this island. Ooh, that's the fire rod.
Yeah, it's always going to be a little bit important here. I mean, kind of no matter what happens. Even I know that.
Well, he's going to be picking that up pretty much on his next save and quit.
Getting some early checks, and it looks like our first bottle is located, so that'll unlock the Sick Kid in Kakariko. So a little bit of efficiency gained by Ack there.
Yep, and he's going to check this ledge item. He can get it. We'll see if it's even worth going after. It's kind of worth going after, but it's a little more difficult to do where you can't pick up spin speed. So he's just going to... Is he going to go for it? You basically have to clip into this corner and jump up to the top of the ledge and then walk around. Or if you do the clip just right, you'll be fine. But if he takes damage, he's in a very bad position. I think he's going to save it for later. the knowledge alone is plenty.
Yeah, and Durand, in the meantime, finds both the ice rod and our first sword. So Kakariko's still having quite a bit of goodies right now.
Absolutely, and Ack wishing he had that sword for that Zora ledge clip, but he'll be able to come back and get that pretty easily.
And that early glove, though, I mean, we're finding, and flute, which would normally be nice right now, but otherwise it's kind of useless, other than just general movement purposes.
I think at this point, I would, being just in Kakariko, I would probably activate it. It's nice to, like, not have to need it, but if you have it, it means you don't have to do certain clips. Like, you don't have to do the Death Mountain ascent. It just, yeah, it speeds things up a little bit.
Ack did also end up finding another sword from the hobo, so we're already 2 swords in, and we see him doing one of these clips you were talking about.
Yeah, he's going to do a downward teleport into this mountain, then kind of jump off, dash to the right, and then press down. As soon as he gets it, he's getting close. I can feel it this time.
It's just not quite far over. Oh, almost.
He was on the wrong bump, if you will. He's on the correct one now. And then he'll be able to auto walk over the water and jump right onto that island where the fire rod is. Turn left. There you go. Dash right. And then, oh, dash all the way. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh, this might not be good.
No, he's fine. He just did it without the dash. The dash just sets you in a place that you know the auto walk's going to be fine. But that worked just as good. Picks up his fire rod. And we have the ice rod already? When did that happen?
Yeah, Durand found the ice rod and another sword that was in the Kakariko well, actually. So we're finding quite a few goodies, although both runners are still kind of sitting pretty sickly compared to what we found so far.
Now, an upside for this, given that Ack has the fire rod, he can go over and pick up the Desert Palace item. Like, he can go finish Desert Palace now. It looks like Durand might go after and pick up that Master Sword.
That's 3 swords we've already found between the 2 at Kakariko and then the one that Ack found on Hobo. So we have 3 swords already, sub 10 minutes.
Absolutely. So Ack going ahead and doing a Death Mountain ascent here. He's got to kind of reset the camera and walk into the old man's cave. He'll probably go ahead and pick up the old man. Durand is heading down towards the... he's decided against it. He could have walked across the transition there and been down by the Desert Palace, but it looks like he might have been trying to set up picking up that Master Sword that he was seeing, and decided, you know, sometimes when you're clipping, it's better to just go the vanilla way if you can, if the clip isn't working out.
And it's interesting because he could have bonked that wall right there instead of using a bomb, which I don't know if that would have been any faster or not as well.
That would have been faster.
Menu time, yeah.
Oh, absolutely been faster. But that's okay. Sometimes when you're in a race, you just go with what you know and what you're used to.
So now it looks like he's probably going to head down the desert with this particular clip.
Absolutely, and it's actually 2 upward teleports to get you down there, which is very counterintuitive. We got Ack gonna go up to Tower of Hera. Ooh, he better save and quit. He turned the wrong direction coming off of that clip, which throws Link out in a really weird spot. So he'll probably just either come back and do it again later or something else like that. It's the worst thing that can happen to our runners is a infinite screen scroll, and we hope to not see that for either of them. That would just be no bueno. But luckily he got to a place where he could save and quit. And you want to kind of, in overworld glitches or in any glitched mode, you want to save and quit regularly so that you don't ever end up in a position where you lose progress.
I mean, that just makes sense whenever you're dealing with any sort of game where you're intentionally breaking it and it was programmed in the early 1990s. It just seems smart.
Ooh, Red Cane. So we are fully ready to go up into Turtle Rock at this point.
My head hurts. Sub 10-minute Turtle Rock. And we can completely clear it out. No problem.
Absolutely. We can go in there and clear out the entirety of Turtle Rock. Logically, might be required to enter through the middle to get through everything. Generally preferable to go through the middle. But yeah, let's see what Ack does here. I think if I were running where Ack is, I'd probably go and do Desert right now. Because you have everything you need to beat it, you might as well.
Absolutely. It is one of those crystals, so you might as well go ahead and do it, unless you're hoping that maybe you could, put it together with Misery Mire a little bit later. But right now we don't have a mirror, so that I don't know if that would even be preferable in this sense.
Well, they can get to, I guess the trip to Misery Mire is not the nicest at this exact point. The easiest way for them to get there would be to go up to Death Mountain again, enter the Dark World portal, and then descend Death Mountain in the Dark World, and basically go through Village of Outcasts and clip into Misery Mire. Ack finally getting some bombs. He's probably going to be very happy for that. And I think we'll get our first Sick Kid check as well, because I think Durand didn't do that.
I believe Durand did. We got our first Fisher Price shield, I believe.
Ah, right you are. The other great thing here is there are so many different ways you can clip around in the game. It's always fun to see like new ones that other people have figured out.
Just the efficiency checks that you can possibly do here and there.
Yeah, there are a few world reps that I don't personally run, but each one of them is great.
All right, so another save and quit by Durand. We're going to see where he ends up going at this point in time.
Looks like he's probably going to head towards South Hyrule, would be my guess. Hit up, no, never mind. Maybe K45?
I mean, because sure, K45 seems logical. Might as well do... Oh, I'm too stuck in no glitches mode. Might as well do this, right?
It's actually my opening play is to go check out K45, pretty much first item.
So Ack is picking up his tempered sword at 11:45. What is this even?
All right, looks like he's almost there. There he is. And getting the hammer at K45.
Wow, that would have been really nice if you would have run that seed, huh?
Absolutely. Having a hammer right out the gate. And this is the point where the flute is going to give Durand a little bit of advantage. Ack's going to pick it up shortly, or activate it shortly, but just being able to kind of get across the world quickly without having to glitch. Like, glitches are good, and sometimes they're faster, but sometimes they're a little slower than just your vanilla movement tech.
It makes sense. If you can do it the vanilla way, that isn't going to break the game in a possibility. Because as you said, if you ever get one of those scrolling screen glitches where you're kind of locked, the more you minimize that, it seems logical you want to do that.
Absolutely. And also there are points where if you accidentally do what like Ack did, where he on Death Mountain kind of jumped the wrong way off of the mountain and ended up in Nowheresville, if he had the flute, he could have just fluted back to the mountain and not had to worry about anything. So it also gives you in the light world a kind of get out of jail free card, if you will.
So many sword beams for this mini Moldorm cave, but 5 treasure locations. Let's see if there's anything else that we can possibly find.
Well, some cash is definitely worthwhile. I think that's vanilla.
I think you're right too. I mean, why not get another fetch quest? Because. So right now, the differences really come down to one person has checked K45, and Durand's checked K45, and Ack has done kind of the Zora hobo area at this point in time. Although Durand seems to be about to set that up too. And Durand does does look like setting up a traditional fake flipper right now.
Absolutely.
Now, I didn't see if Durand set up a double fake flipper there or not. Again, I'm not terribly familiar with how you exactly set that up. I do know it's possible, though. Durand gets that knowledge of the fire rod as well.
So you essentially do a stored water walk, which is the water walk that Ack is currently using, but you store it up and then do the fake flipper, so it's still like kind of underlying with you. And I think Ack might be setting that up. He's gonna go store his water walk and do the kind of simpler way of getting this item. He also wants to check the Ice Rod Cave, so it's like a good double check.
All right, so Durand ended up getting his tempered sword because we're just throwing items at these runners right now.
Absolutely. In fact, I think we're getting to a point where as soon as we see the Dark World and get some ideas of what they need, we'll be able to really kind of pick out what items are required to finish this game. So you're going to see Ack do the same thing that Durand is doing here, where he goes into the cave and comes out, and then he'll be in a regular, like, cave water walk, and he has the stored water walk underneath, so he can just jump off the ledge and still be walking on water after Zora. That way it's a lot easier to go pick up the ledge item.
Yeah, you can go ahead and use those boots to dash around too, instead of trying to swim your way through here.
Absolutely. The only thing he has to be careful of is not bonking, and definitely not like walking on the land, because that'll ruin it all. But he looks like he's good. Jump off here, and in his water walk that he had stored, and very easily gets to go get the item on the ledge. And it looks like Durand had set up the same thing as well.
All right, so gloves,
Ooh.
hammer, and moon pearl for Durand. I mean, he's set to go. Durand, didn't quite get that second water walk setup, that looks like.
That is correct. He missed out on setting up the water walk, which means he'll have to either redo the entire thing or he'll have to go with a standard clip through the ledge.
Alright, Ack looks like he's going his way down over to K45.
So it looks like Durand pressed up when he was going over to the right there, which kind of pushed him into a weird place. Yeah, and Ack's doing the checkerboard cave now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But it may remind him to go do cave 45, because it's right around the corner from here in Overworld Glitches. Durand picking up his fire rod.
Yep, and just a piece of heart in Checkerboard Cave. So he is setting up another clip, looks like.
It looks like he's gonna go for the water walk again. The first glove opens up just a few locations, but they're nice locations to have. And it looks like Ack did a upward teleport, but it kind of pushed him not far enough north. So we'll see if he gets a different upward teleport off of the top bump there. And he's just going to flute away. Looks like he'll maybe go somewhere else to kick off his running.
Well, he's again heading to the south in the Kakariko area. Durand is setting up another fake flipper. Looks like he is going to be going up trying to get that glove. I mean, gloves are just so important for any sort of movement.
Absolutely. And I think Ack's going to make the play to go ahead and just finish off Desert Palace right now. He's clipping kind of low, so I'm not entirely sure where he's headed. Oh, I like that clip. He did that in a single hop. I'm gonna have to use that one.
Imitation, greatest form of flattery.
Absolutely.
Durand also kind of dodged early death there. Oh, man.
He is getting so dangerously close to everything. I love it. Oh my goodness. And Hack is cleaning up Desert Palace, gets the small key off the torch there. This is making my heart flutter.
Man, even I'm a little bit nervous for Durand right here.
But he gets the water walk just fine. Ack gets his big red cane.
So at this point, it feels like Durand feels a little bit ahead with that hammer, just because it unlocks some different things in the dungeons themselves that you're going to have to clear. Still missing a few items in order to really make some noise, though.
Yeah, actually, with what's required, I don't know if the hammer actually gets him anything extra right now. It allows him to open up the portal on Dark Death Mountain. It looks like he's going to clip here, although he has the flute, so he could do this a lot faster. But, I mean, clip to show it off, which is totally fine.
It's all about the swag.
Absolutely. If you enter this cave too low, you'll actually cause the screen to, like, slowly transition. And it's a good thing we didn't do that, so...
I'm a little bit sad that we've had fetch quests for quite a long time. I'm quite fond of fetch quests myself, and no turn-ins whatsoever. Zero.
I'm sure all runners will get to it eventually. Alright, so we're about to get our first crystal at a late 23 minutes in is about when we'll see that drop, I'm sure. With our massively overpowered runners already sitting on a whole bunch of hearts and a tempered sword.
I mean, tempered is just super nice at any rate, but I mean, being able to do literally all bosses with tempered sword just makes it a little bit overpowered and really jealous, wishing I could run this scene, even though I don't know the glitches.
Actually, with the hammer, Durand might go into Ganon's tower. He's deciding he's not going to do anything more inside of Tower of Hera right now.
I can imagine with Ganon's tower actually being in logic and required for some items, that's just a treasure trove right there.
Oh, did we see Bombos? I thought I saw Bombos.
Well, given that Durand's actually going for it, I think we did indeed see Bombos.
And at 23 minutes, we got Acktheboker with his first crystal, Desert Palace. So I can't imagine where you would head right now. I think if I were him, I would start considering looking in the Dark World. And at the very least, knowing, like, the knowledge is power in Overworld glitches. Just knowing what items you need. You might need a medallion if Misery Mire is required. You certainly won't for Turtle Rock. Looks like Ack made the clip up into Tower of Hera just good this time, and Durand's doing the exact same thing. Although I can imagine Durand's probably going to go over to East Death Mountain right now.
Yeah, Durand's already checked out the, at that point in time, dipped the pinky toe into Tower of Hera, and because it is that pendant not required, so got the items and then dipped out.
Yeah, and Ack's doing the same thing. Durand choosing to go ahead and do the clip across the land bridge here, which is always fun. And go see what's on top of the floating island here, which is totally free to get at this point as well. 5 bomb upgrade, probably not going to get it. Ack going for little hover.
That's maximum swag. It doesn't matter what mode you're in. If you hover, maximum swag right there.
That is quite a difficult trick to pull off. So Ack, unlike Durand, who could have gone across the bridge with the hammer, has to do this clip to get over to East Death Mountain.
Doesn't quite have it set up yet, does he?
No, he's looking like he might have it now. There we go. He's having a little problems with the inputs. It's basically like if your enemy was to the right, it's kind of a roll down away motion that you keep doing. Don't press up, and you'll be fine.
I did not know that land bridge even existed. Now I do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, we're getting to the kind of the meaty part of East Death Mountain at this point in time for Durand.
Yeah, so something Durand can do that Ack cannot do easily is after he finishes this up, he can go over to the Turtle Rock entrance and enter Dark World if he so desires, and check out Super Bunny and at least get the one item in. Entirely sure what was going on there. He realized he had one bomb. He might go buy bombs before he continues. No. Okay.
Pulling out the flute.
I'm not sure where we're headed now, but I mean, you got lots of options.
I can only imagine. Like, I even see the options that you can possibly do without overworld glitches, and you throw those in. There's just so many different possibilities that you can possibly go to at this point in time. He still hasn't actually beaten Desert Palace either.
So, of note for Durand when he does a watch back on this, the place he fluted out of with his one bomb, he could have actually bombed inside that cave to the left. There is a bomb shop right in there, just to get more bombs. But that's for later.
You know, details.
Little game knowledge. I'm actually a little surprised neither of our runners have gone after the graveyard ledge yet, which is a clip from here as well on the other side of that. But I'm sure they will eventually.
I am just amazed at that. We haven't really done much in the Dark World, like at all. It feels like we're clearing out as much as we can in the Light World before even stepping a pinky toe in there.
Okay, I only caught the Turtle Rock was a crystal.
I did see Misery Mire was also a crystal. It was our number 7 crystal there.
Okay, so that means our runners are definitely going to want to get to Misery Mire and find out what the medallion required to enter is. It is the only required medallion left in this game. Because having bombos to get inside of Ice Palace would be the only reason you would need it. And it looks like Swamp is not required, and neither is Thieves Town. That's interesting. Swamp is the only place that requires both the flippers and the mirror. Otherwise, our runners may never see either of those items.
Huh. Mirror is certainly interesting because I know there's a lot. I mean, just doing in the 3 seconds of research I was able to do, mirror is kind of handy in terms of maneuvering around and even glitching into, for example, the back half of Turtle Rock.
Absolutely.
Well, and Butter Sword and Lamp, because why not?
Super Bunny Cave has it all. And I think Ack is actually stuck. Legitimately stuck.
Wow, wow, wow.
So, may want to go ahead and save and quit and retry soon. But it's okay, it happens. And it looks like we're going to go ahead and go into Turtle Rock. Always go into the right entrance. The left entrance is just pain and anguish. You don't need anything. You don't even need the red cane to enter here. You can actually bonk on the left side and jump over that rail if you want to.
I remember seeing that, I believe, performed for the first time in the Key Sanity tournament, and I was just amazed that something like that happened.
Absolutely. The interesting thing about those rails, and this is why you can do the hammer jump and pod, It has to do with the fact that the rails only have collision detection on one side of them. So if you come in from the other side, the game doesn't know. Some mushroom running around there.
Oh, and yeah, that was kind of a poorly placed key right there.
So Durand's going to opt to open up the vanilla big key chest here, which is kind of a gamble in this mode, but it was a key for a key, so everything's fine.
Could have been worse. Could have been a lot worse.
Well, if you don't have a key going upstairs, you cannot progress further upstairs, and then you have to go downstairs.
And it looks like Boker ended up making it there.
Absolutely. I'm very intrigued to see if Ack is going to do a little hover. He's about to pick up his gold sword and a nice little lamp, which not needed, but always happy to have. All right, it looks like Durand is deciding whether or not he wants to death warp back to the center or keep looking upstairs. He's deciding that he's going to check the last 3 chests. I kind of agree with this. If Big Key is over here, that means you can finish the dungeon. So that's kind of where my mindset would be. It has to be up here, actually, at this point.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think he's checked all the other treasure chests at this point, so he's on a good path.
And Ack killing that Bari over there kind of leads me to believe he's going to be hovering for us here and again.
I mean, he's already shown the swag once. He might as well keep swagging it up at this point, and he's just nailing it.
Yeah, all you have to do is hover to that one. The rest of them you can bonk to, which is really nice. You should be able to bonk that. Maybe not. Never mind.
Yeah, I don't think you can quite bonk that. But man, that would have been nice. Durand having some trouble with this torch room.
Yeah, forgetting that he didn't have the hook shot yet. Went ahead and kind of started off going in the wrong direction, which is fine. We all do it at some point. But he should be able to get in that door in time.
There's Ack just making the hover look easy right there.
And this might be the big key. No, the big key is in the vanilla compass chest.
Oh man, that's... I mean, if you went into Turtle Rock the vanilla way, it would have been the first treasure chest. But now it's kind of buried what seems to be pretty far deep into it.
Yeah, although the upside here is after getting this chest, Durand can just death warp back to the center, back to the big chest. So he'll pick up the big key here and then just probably walk onto the spikes. Might have a fairy in a bottle though, so...
I think he does, yeah.
And realizes it before getting the death animation. Well played.
I think that's another thing that we've all done, is tried to death warp, and then realizing too late we had a fairy.
Absolutely. So, nothing stopping Durand from finishing this dungeon. I agree with just get it out of the way while you're here. I think with what Durand has, they can check the full right side of Ganon's tower, as Ack can as well. But Durand can also go up and check the random room. With a few clever bomb jumps, could actually full clear the entire dungeon except for upstairs. And up note, Durand isn't too far behind. He's 1 crystal down, but he's already been into Desert Palace. He just didn't finish it up when he was there. And that's probably going to be one of the quickest ones to go back and finish up. Right up there with Skullwoods.
Yeah, you can just kind of even clip over and just nab it.
All right, we're doing some routing here of the dark room.
This is interesting routing of the dark room.
We're gonna get there. He's only got like 2 more movements, and he's good.
Here we go.
Ack remembering to go the opposite direction into this room without the hookshot. And I I can imagine. I mean, Gold Sword, Trinex, Durand's doing a smart here, going, I don't know what's gonna happen, but I'm just gonna protect myself in the off chance that I die to the laser beams, which I agree with it. He's basically one hit away from like getting knocked out. If you mess up your laser skip or anything, it's just a little protection so you don't have to rewalk the entire dungeon.
And that seemed like a good idea for that protection right there.
Yep, pay it off already. Of note, has full magic bar and the cape, which might come in handy to save from the death animations. And got a book on the laser bridge.
That book might be interesting if anything ends up being there here on the tablets. We've had all the swords for quite a while, and Durand going to go ahead and take another death just to refresh his health, really.
Absolutely. Ack did not check the center chest when he came in here the first time, so he's going to go do that real quick. This actually works out decently, because after this chest... Ooh, it takes an accidental death there. So after this chest, you can go and refill your magic immediately before continuing on the dungeon. And Durand has the ability to do a 0 cycle Trinex. We'll see how this goes. With Butter Sword, it's either 0 or 1 cycle. He's going for the dash. So this is... Ooh, took a hit. Gonna have to do a 1 cycle.
I mean, either way, this is about as easy a fight as Trinex as you can possibly get with Butter Sword.
Absolutely. It's always good to see some of the tail still vertical when you kill him.
Yeah, that's usually my gauge, if I do it right or not. And that never happens, so you know I never do it right.
Alright, so we're at some crystal parity. Durand might want to capitalize on his book or his hammer. He can actually check both of the tablets immediately if he chooses to.
Yeah, they are real close right here, aren't they?
Well, he has to save and quit because he's stuck in the head of Turtle Rock. But yeah, from either save and quit point, the mountain cave or the house, you can quickly get to both of these tablets.
Yeah, it does look like he's going right up to that ether tablet just about immediately.
Yeah, he's going to go ahead and reset the camera. You have to reset the camera to go get this tablet because it's not actually loaded when you're down on the bottom of the screen. It is a... Never mind. Looks like we're not checking that.
Durand, why you fake us out so much?
No, Durand's going for something even more fun. He's going straight for Ganon's Tower, I think.
Oh, it does look like he's getting that set up, doesn't he?
Nope. Never mind. He's getting stuck in a wall. He could have also been going down to Dark World, but he has the hammer and the glove. So I mean, if he's looking for Dark World access, I mean, I guess this is a little faster heading to Skull Woods area and Village of Outcasts. I don't know. I would have considered at this point at least checking Ether while you're up here. Probably checking Spike Cave, since you have everything you need for that. Kind of like trying to capitalize on the locations that are closest to you. But based on this movement, looks like they're going for a descent to kind of... I'm surprised that doesn't do an auto walk.
I mean, okay. Sure, at this point. I do tend to agree. It seems like it would be, since you were right there, both Spike Cave and the Ether Tablet just seemed like to be real quick checks that you want to do, because those two locations could bite you in the butt, and it does take quite a bit of setup to get back to them.
Yep, and that piece of heart's free whether or not you have the cape, so that's always nice, if it's something you need.
Acktheboker also getting his try next with some of that vertical tail action.
And it looks like, although it wasn't Skullwoods, no, it was Thieves Town was a pendant. So I think Durand's going to go ahead and just go to the back of the dungeon, kill him up a moth, and then roll back to front for the rest of the dungeon looking for the 2 items.
Absolutely, and that's just good routing efficiency that you will see in pretty much, not just overworld glitches, but in any version of the randomizer. Just knowing that, do what you're required to do, and if you get one of the items, then you're already, one fewer items down that you have to find.
Absolutely. There was a question in chat about bomb jumps. Bomb jumps are not required in this logic. It's pretty much anything in the overworld that would be a major glitch out of bounds like that could be required. Including some kind of, maybe not necessarily, like, we're not going to see it in this, but bunny revival in dungeons might be required. Meaning you could find the Moon Pearl inside of Ice Palace. Or inside of Skullwoods.
That red berry's not playing nice with Durand right now. He's trying to get as much magic as he possibly can.
Alright, we got Ack getting a full heart, which, you know what? That's actually kind of still good at this point.
Yeah, it's not been a terribly healthy seed with everything else that we've ended up finding. In particular, we've not found any armor upgrades, so everything is still kind of hitting us like a truck.
Absolutely. Axe decides to skip over doing that, but based on this current setup, he is going for Ganon's Tower. And we'll see a little... Oh, he was close. Oh, he's in there. Just walk out. Walk out. Redo it. Redo the clip. Oh, he's perfect. Just push right. Push right. There you go. He is inside of Ganon's Tower. 41 minutes.
Very nicely done. Durand, meanwhile, does take a death, unfortunately, to Mothula. I was just saying, hits like a truck, and the moth absolutely does hit pretty hard.
And to those of our people in chat that guessed the first location having the big key, you were right.
Oh, were we supposed to do something? Crap.
No, we were not. All right, let's hope Durand can. He has the mushroom. He could fake powder in this next room, but it would require him to give up all his magic. And he says, "No, I'm gonna do moth with 2, maybe 3 hearts. Nope, 2 hearts."
Man, that's scary. This is now a patience game for Mothula, and Mothula is one of those bosses that's kind of difficult to have any sort of patience with.
Yeah, this is anything in this room. The spikes will deal 1 heart of damage. Moth himself and his little, I don't know what you would call them, pain rings, deal 2 hearts each.
Especially with green mail. We're seeing something. I'm presuming this is a little bit special, but tile room?
Absolutely. If you're here, you might as well check it out. There's not a whole lot of locations he can check, but you might as well get them all out of the way. Because actually, so in the regular game, when you get here and no major glitches, there's pretty much very little you're looking for. And you're mostly just looking for the big key. In this, we still have so many items we're looking for, there's a high probability that even something you need is in the tile room.
Hey, makes sense to me. I'll take it. So what that means is we need to tell all of our wonderful fans that love to see tile rooms in the standard mode game to really come over here to Overworld Glitches, because you'll get a lot of tile room action.
Absolutely. So Durand's going in for his 3rd attempt at Moth. Sword beams are kind of not doing him any good. Ack just picked up a bottle in the compass room in Ganon's Tower, and he's going to continue all on a full right, because he doesn't really have another option to get over to the Ice Armos, and can also check the big chest while he's here. There we go. Durand cleaning up the moth. And I didn't see what he picked up. I was totally looking at Ack.
He was rewarded with the best item that you could possibly find, a compass.
Oh, I was hoping it was the blue boomerang. You had me hopeful for a second.
I had that good wind-up going. I'm sorry. I disappointed you.
It's all right. But it was required to go ahead and kill the moth, so that's good. We got 10 arrows in the big chest in Ganon's Tower. Something you'll regularly see in Overworld glitches is people opening that chest. The reason our runners want to prioritize getting into Ganon's Tower is it's 22 item locations that are pretty much free super early in the game. Ooh, Ack getting a heart refill right before dropping into the Armos Knights on ice, and Durand taking a death warp to continue his exploration of Skull Woods.
Armos Knights on Ice sounds like the worst ice-capades ever.
Well, high quality here, because if Ack can turn just in time... Nope. I say he could keep them from doing their rotation if he would have been able to catch one of them, but, I mean, this is going to go pretty quick. He's got the gold sword. He was using sword beams, but gold sword alone should kind of deal with these relatively quickly. I think something like 6 slashes.
Hey, Quake Medallion, another key, and 50 groups. We still have not gotten a peek down there at that Misery Mire area, which is required at this point in time, so we're going to have to see that eventually.
Absolutely. And Ack actually didn't, other than Quake, really didn't pick up much of anything there. So, not sure where we're going to head now. So we're setting up a spin speed and gonna go for Hera. Yeah, I'm gonna walk into Hera, probably maybe do the Spike Cave, maybe go down into Dark World, like around Skull Woods. And Durand taking another death warp here to refill the health. Ack can't do Spike Cave. What am I thinking about? He doesn't have the hammer.
He does not. That's an unfortunate skull in that bush right there.
So it looks like we're going to go down to the north Dark World area. All right, I was scared there for a second. He didn't move. Part of this trick is just clipping through the wall there, then starting a dash and turning up so you bonk, and then pressing down and you just auto walk into the Dark World. It's beautiful.
So how tilted do you think Durand is right now, given all those deaths that he had on Mothula? Do you think he feels even more behind than he actually is? Because it's really still pretty close.
I would think anytime you die to a boss, you just feel behind. And I think that's just going to happen to any runner. And the funny thing is, I don't know that he is behind at the moment at all. Ack is busy collecting every bottle in the game, unfortunately.
I mean, why not? You might as well.
Ooh.
Oh, that's... I don't know if that's something you necessarily want to find right now.
Oh, it's absolutely a wonderful item to find. So both of them basically high-fiving each other as they pick up the mirror in the chess game. That's going to give our runners access to, well, a few things. The only one that's in logic that I can think of at the moment that it gives them access to is the Pyramid Fairy. And it gives Ack a nice kind of quick ride over to Eastern Dark World. But it looks like with Mirror in hand, he's going to go ahead and dip Thieves Town, even though it's a pendant.
Well, there are 4 items located in Thieves Town in total, so if you get lucky and get 3 of the 4 in the top, then you can usually justify it because it's a pretty quick check. But with that compass, we already know he's down to maximum 2 treasure chests in this first part.
That's right, because one of them has to be that big key to get you further into the dungeon. And it looks like Durand's doing the same thing, so... Whenever you're running, it's always, you always want your opponent to do the same things you do, especially if they are, like, dipping pendant dungeons. Ooh, everything seems to be in the back. If he gets a small key here, then that means the front half was a complete bust. Nearly a complete bust.
One item, which is a heart container, yeah.
So this could be another huge moment in the game. If Durand decides to continue going through this dungeon and get something, that could be, like, a play of the game. Although I don't disagree one bit with what Ack chose to do there. He went in, he found a heart. There's more stuff in the back, and it looks like Durand is going to go for it. He's going to check out what's in the rest of this dungeon.
Yeah, this could be pretty significant. And I think one of the things that weighs in for Durand, knowing that, you know, one of those items is likely at this point in time going to be locked behind that hammer that he has. The interesting to note, Boker doesn't have that hammer. I mean, it was pretty early in K45. He just hasn't gone there. So if something's there, this could be, as you said, significant for Boker, or for Durand.
All right, and Boker has to make sure that he kills a few people in the room to the left there. There's a small chance that that large magic underneath the pot there does not drop if the sprite limit is reached.
Really?
Yes, sir.
The more you know. do, do, do.
And if you're going to take the time to bomb the wall for the magic, you want to make sure that you get the magic.
Yeah. In particular, I mean, again, this is going to be Boker's first attempt here at Mothula. We did see Durand struggle a little bit, so this could be just, in general, time made up. You know, it's really handy to compare the time differences, not just, you know, the side-by-side time, but looking at how long an individual ends up spending on each part of the section. Does Durand spend more time in Skullwoods, for example?
Absolutely.
All right, so Durand's coming up to the meaty portion of, well, the other meaty portion of Thieves Town. So we're going to see if that gamble ends up paying off. While Boker is, man, clutched out that.
Yeah, that was something else. So keynote: if you have the Tempered Sword or the Butter Sword in the Moth fight, doing a spin attack does no damage whatsoever. Oh, goodness.
Oh, my God.
That is the bow in the basement of Pendant Thieves Town, right next to Blind. And that is a small key locked away in the back of Thieves Town.
So Blind's going to have the last item. Oh, my goodness. Durand, I mean, you said it. This is going to be significant for Durand, because I don't think Boker is going to go back to that for quite a while.
It's entirely possible. It's both a downside and an upside for Ack. Eventually he will. The only things that Durand gets is on his first trip into Ganon's Tower, he'll be able to finish it, which would have been nice for Ack. Oh, we're getting a pedestal check. And it looks like it's 300 rupees, which is always nice. Then our final item from Blind. Some bombs. Is that the green pendant?
It is the green pendant. And we haven't been over to Eastern Dark World at all. So that's just added incentive if having the bow and the hammer weren't enough of an incentive for you to go over there anyway.
Yeah, I think the next play is definitely Pod Eastern. Just knock them both out. You have everything to clean them up. Maybe actually on my way over, I would check Misery Mire. I think do the digging game and check Misery Mire, because you want to know if you really need to be searching. Because what items do we need? We need the hook shot. Okay, there we have it. We need the hook shot.
Yeah, that's really all we need. And a one dig.
technically, for logic, since Ice Palace is a crystal, we do need the Titan's Mitt, but with the mirror, depending on what our runners know, they can actually skirt that. So that could be an advantage to Ack if he knows how to... Never mind.
I mean, because... Do you just like blessing the runners at this point in time? That's like the third or fourth time this game.
So the Titan's Mitt there is going to give another advantage to Durand, which lets him get into Ice Palace. The only thing he needs is the hook shot and to know what it is required to get into Misery Mire. If it is Quake, that's a huge advantage to Ack. But Ack does need to get into Thieves Town.
Absolutely. So here's our Hype Cave check, and I have a hard time believing we have anything left to find.
Hey, some mail.
I mean, that's good.
And not much else. And above the graveyard ledge, Ack takes the regular route there using the mirror and doesn't find anything in particular. I think this routing is fine because he also wants to check King's Tomb while he's here. Which, in his current state, he can only do with the mirror.
Yep. So we do have Durand checking all these. Looks like he's going right to Eastern. He's not going to check Pyramid. Probably saving that for when he can mirror over from Fairy and do it from there.
Yeah. So what Ack needs to do at this point is hit up Cave 45. He's hitting the mirror locations, which might put him on the right path. He'll get that hammer. Maybe it'll remind him, hey, I know Thieves Town is dumb as being a pendant. Maybe I should go there anyway. Did we see the Kiki text message there?
Yes, we did. We did. Kiki, they went and grabbed Kiki and then decided, oh yeah, I have to go check what Shamalama Ding Dong has in the back of his hut. And piece of heart, and rupees. I mean, not really expecting a whole lot at this point.
No, that's. I don't even remember what Kiki says to you when you do that.
Like, no, we're playing by my rules.
I think Ack. Nope. Ack says I'm gonna. This is good though. He's gonna get the Titan's Mitt. Oh, and he remembers Cave. This is actually gonna work out kind of in his favor. This more traditional routing where he checks Cave 45, gets that hammer, which is gonna be great for him. And he's gonna sit there and think, I could have had this from 2 minutes in. I don't know if that's gonna make him feel behind or not. That's usually rough when you find something that's basically really close by. Wow, he is just getting all the bad RNG with what's underneath the bushes there.
Bees, skulls, but he's rewarded with Titan's Mitt.
Absolutely. Okay. So really he needs the bow, the hook shot, and maybe the ether medallion.
Yeah, at this point, the major question mark and what I think Ack needs to really stay in this, one, he needs to get to Thieves Town and finish that off in relatively short order. And the other thing is we do need to see what is required for Misery Mire itself.
Okay, this is new to me. He's actually using the big bomb to open up Hype Cave.
I mean, what?
Hey, it's a bomb. It doesn't look like we're probably going to see he'll probably go back and pick up the big bomb and open up the Pyramid Fairy now that he has the hammer. But the other way to get there would have been through the mirror off of Death Mountain after messing with the camera. Which I think is still slightly faster than opening up the Pyramid Fairy. Tomato, tomato kind of thing. Pod not having much payout at all.
No.
I think Ack just wanted to buy a 100 rupee bomb to open up the Hype Cave.
He's not going anywhere now. He's like, I'm going back. I mean, good?
He's going to go use his shovel that he remembered from the beginning of the game.
Oh,
now,
finally a fetch quest. Yeah.
Yeah, this could be something big. Durand just picking up a lot of rupees in Palace of Darkness. Nice little shovel dash there. And more rupees in the Haunted Grove. There's just heaps of rupees in Palace of Darkness.
So if you want to get rich quick, latest get rich quick scheme is just go to Palace of Darkness.
Absolutely. I think Ack is going to make the play towards Misery Mire area. At the very least, there's 2 locations to check. Ooh, but he got himself stuck, which is unfortunate.
Yep. All right, so Durand still working his way here through Palace of Darkness. Looks like he's going over here to the bow-locked portion of it, and he has goo if he really wants to glitch it, but why do it when you have the bow?
And I think Ack is maybe looking to go back into GT, which means he's going to be triple dipping GT if he does this. Because that's kind of, it's this and Spike Cave. And he might be thinking that the bow or the hookshot is on the left side. He's going for GT. Interesting. Doesn't want to have anything to do with the Spike Cave. Although I think right there it looked like he did a little bit of movement, like I should have maybe done Spike Cave on the way down.
Well, and he did check either tablet, right?
He did. It was full heart, I believe. We got a shield upgrade in the basement of Pod there. Durand's probably going to go and finish this up now after collecting 200 rupees and pass and go and all the other things that happen in that. We're either going to see Ack do some hovering here or some bomb jumping, but I don't think he's going to leave anything left in this dungeon.
No, he's going to do as much as he can. I mean,
Ooh, diagonal.
Oh, wow!
That was a fun one.
Ack just making all of us feel inadequate right at the moment.
Picking up the Uncle Bombs in the Dark Magician room, the best boomerang, and 2 keys. Just in time for the best time to have this boomerang, actually.
I was going to say, the key of it is really right here coming up because you can use the blue boomerang with these particular switches.
Yep. It's the only reason I collect it. No, it actually has a lot of great uses. You kind of want it earlier in the game to maybe see what the stun prize is. And decides not to use it. Sadness ensues. That's alright. This works just as well, too.
You sounded so sad. It's like, you just got it. Use it.
It's my favorite item in the whole game. I don't know why.
It's all right. We all have, I think, that irrational item that's our favorite item for whatever reason.
Okay, so Ack is in. He's got to wait for these bars to pass. It looks like he's going for the bomb jump here. It's a little easier. It's really simple to set up. But he does also have to watch his health. He's at 1.5 hearts. He's really only going to check these 4 more locations, and then he's got to do something else. And the upside is, at least it's not super slow to get back into Ganon's tower, but he is going to have to come back here a 3rd time to open up the pyramid. And does it pay off at all? Well, heart refill. It does not pay off.
Nope. All right, so where does he go at this point in time? What are Ack's options at this point?
Spike Cave. He can go into Ice Palace. Jeez. He can go check out the 2 chests by Misery Mire. Maybe he can enter Misery Mire. He's got to press up here. Press up and hop. Press up and hop. Press up and hop. There you go. It looks like he's going to Pyramid Ferry right now. That's another option, is the Pyramid Ferry.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's going to go over here, drop the mirror kind of in the left of that little patch of lighter grass, more to the right, Ack, and it'll be fine. That's interesting. That should work. And what really happened is the camera is still messed up, but he's going to walk into this cave, reset the mirror, and he actually left his portal inside of the castle area. So he's going to go ahead and flute back to his home and then run up and walk right back into that portal and essentially walk right into the Pyramid Fairy.
Nifty. All that set up even after he purchases a big bomb.
Absolutely. I want to also note that neither of our runners have done any bit of escape yet.
Wow. Okay, you're right. We have not done any escape.
And we get the single arrow, and he'll be able to check the pyramid item. He has to walk back in, and this next time he'll be able to walk right on out. That was about resetting his position. He might go... See, from here, I would personally go up and check the catfish, and then maybe go into pod, but it looks like we're going into escape. This could be a pretty big play, or not. Never mind, we're fluting away.
Durand, meanwhile, really hasn't found a whole lot in either Eastern or pod, other than, of course, the crystals, that he's just racking them up at this point.
Yep, but it's all going to come down to wherever that hookshot is for him. And... was that Quake?
That was Quake!
So he's going to have to go and do Ganon's Tower, go all the way to the end. So that's going to help Ack right now. Let's see. If hookshot is inside of Misery Mire, this could be the big evening factor. Not evening as in late night, but evening as in making even.
Oh, and here I thought you said leavening, like, you know, like bread rising.
Oh, well, sure. Well, we can say that too. Wouldn't that be leavening?
Oh, well, yeah, sure. If you pronounce it correctly.
Yeah, so the Quake Medallion we know is behind Ice Armos in Ganon's Tower. The bow is in the basement of Thieves Town, and the hookshot, our final required item, is MIA.
Chap does bring up a good point. Ack has shown himself to be quite the proficient hoverer, and because Swamp Palace at this point in time isn't necessarily required, do you think Ack actually wants to see the hookshot at all?
You know, that is fair. So Ack really just needs the bow. Based off of what we've seen from his ability to hover. That's all he needs. But it is one of those things, if his opponent is doing different things, he absolutely wants to see that hookshot. Because Durand hasn't shown us that he's willing to hover or has the knowledge, which is, you know, fine. Hovering is no easy task. And kind of hopes to... See, I don't know if you want to find it inside of Misery Mire, which means you're forced to essentially go and do Ganon's Tower and get Quake and then come down here and get the hookshot. And then go back to Ganon's Tower.
I mean, randomizer seeds have been meaner than that.
Oh, absolutely.
I both know that.
But yeah, I think Ack, for time constraints, would love to find the hookshot in this dungeon. But we're going to get our first check on escape, which... Ooh, this is going to be unfortunate if hookshot's in here. For Ack, that is.
I mean, it very well could be. We're quickly running out of locations at this point in time that are, you know, logically possible.
Absolutely.
Ack is doing the world's best cutscene in an action movie.
Ooh, every single chest, I'm excited to find that hookshot. It could very well just be an ice palace, for all we know.
It could also be in Swamp Palace, which would be horrible and amazing at the same time.
Yeah, that would be...
I mean, it's okay. It can be... We can wish the horribleness on others, right?
Well, no, I mean, I think of all of the wonderful things that happen in Seeds. I wish no ill will to anyone playing to get anything that they consider not very nice. Oh, wow. Axe, gotta watch his health. He is at 1 heart. And... Ooh.
Nothing in escape for Durand.
Nothing in the front half at the very least. 300 rupees is one of our 2 items in Misery Mire. Oh, Axe got 4 potions. He's loaded.
He's fine.
It looks like the last item is going to be on Vitreous.
I mean, since you have to beat Vitreous anyway, might as well go for it.
Absolutely. A small key, full heart, and a map. So we are going to check the Dark Cross room. And that'll be our final location, which means that hookshot, if it's not in the Dark Cross, is in Ice Palace, Swamp Palace, or the last item in Misery Mire. All good things for Ack, which is, you know, keeping it good and even. But Ack then also has to get his tail over to the Thieves' Town to go collect that bow. Absolutely required for him to finish this game.
Yep.
The question becomes, is he going to go to Thieves' Town before Pod and Eastern, after checking 4 locations? And our Dark Cross holding just 20 rupees. So Durand is going to start doing some stuff here. Probably going to Ganon's Tower would be my guess.
Well, and that's going to be a good place since we know that's exactly where the Quake Medallion is, and that's going to be required for him.
Well, it looks like he's going to check the Graveyard Ledge first. And is going to auto-walk past it. That is so frustrating when that happens.
Oops.
Yeah, if you miss that clip just the slightest bit, you just auto-walk right past the door, and you're like, no, I just want to go in there. That's all I want. I'll give you my lunch money. Okay, so Axe doing really quick work of Viddy here with the butter sword. Just a few slashes, cleaning that up, and getting 300 rupees. So 600 rupees in Misery Mire. It is not the answer.
Never mind about Palace of Darkness. Clearly, to get rich, you get a Misery Mire. Jeez. You know, have we actually paid off the capitalist fish yet?
I don't believe we've been over there, no. But this is also a great shot for Ack to go do Bombo's tablet, and I don't recall if he's actually talked to Agina. Pretty sure he has. That or Durand did, and it's been a while. But being here, this is the closest he's going to be for some time. I love that clip.
Oh man, that clip seems like a lot of fun right there. So much time saved.
Durand is going upstairs into Tower of Hera for our second item, I believe.
All right, and here is the Agina chip. And we've seen this from Durand already. So.
All right, pretty simple bomb jump here. Get some small key for the trouble. Oh, so the other item is on Moldorm or in the basement. That's not anything anybody wants to see.
Absolutely not. Looks like Boker is on his way to Ice Palace as well. Which is interesting. We know exactly where he needs to go, and this isn't it.
And it's 5 rupees at the top of Tower of Hera. I honestly, well, Ack has the knowledge that there's nothing on the pedestal. Durand doesn't. I would have probably just mirrored out before collecting the pendant at that point.
Yeah.
But I believe Durand's best next play is Spike Cave followed up by Ganon's Tower. We still have not seen Spike Cave. And we're going to continue to not see Spike Cave. And we found the hook shot.
All right, so, I mean, required, I think logically, since hovering isn't required, but that does possibly open up. I mean, Ack could be going to Swamp Palace instead of doing Thieves Town because he skipped that. And one of the things in races that you do is kind of commit to your gambles. And I could absolutely see Ack doing Swamp Palace before going Thieves Town.
Yeah, I don't. It's a toss-up, right? Because Thieves Town is still the green pendant, right?
It is. At the same time, you know, if he already skipped it that early, you know, wouldn't you want to commit to your gambles? I guess at that point in time, knowing that if something was there, you've already lost.
See, that's the tricky one for me. I would look at it like the green pendant is enough to make, because there's still, what, 4 items left in the dungeon?
4 if you include the green pendant, yeah.
Is that right? Yeah, maybe it's right. But, like, versus the, what, 5 or 6 that are in Swamp? I should know these numbers offhand, but I try and forget logic as much as I possibly can on a regular basis.
And if you can't remember logic, then the rest of us are lost, man.
No. Remember it when you need it. I don't know, it's a toss-up. And I would think that the faster dungeon to complete overall time-wise is Thieves Town. It's just slightly faster to get through. And looks like Durand's going for the Pyramid Fairy check. Yeah, see, he drops the portal like I do. It's just kind of like, whatever. Somewhere near here.
All right, so Boker's working his way through Ice Palace, and Durand is setting up a death of some sort?
Yeah. Instead of just fluting down to Link's house, you can kill yourself on the mountain and start at Link's house, and your portal will still be there. If you save and quit, your portal disappears.
Okay.
But the faster method there would have been to just flute since he has it. And these are sometimes things where you learn one way and you just like, because most of the time you don't need the flute at all, so you don't even think about when you have the flute all the things you can do with it. And I totally get and understand that from, you know, running this mode. The point is, still got here, and that's all that matters. But here's hoping. So the real big thing that we're concerned about is where Ack is going after this. That's gonna, you know, be the big play of the game. He's gonna do the bomb jump for the iced tea room. Since he did bomb jump earlier, he doesn't want to do something that's gonna force him to basically walk around the dungeon a whole bunch.
It's funny that he got that bomb jump, but struggled with kind of the traditional first bomb jump of Ice Palace and said, forget it, I'm gonna hover.
Yeah, I'd say for his, because hovering as a skill is relatively hard, but if you're on for the day, and he hasn't missed one yet, I mean, that's one of those things that, like, you know, if you're feeling hot, just roll with it.
Oh, absolutely.
All right, we got our first Ike the Catfish check.
Ike? Is it? Well, he's called Ike?
If you read the sign near there, it says his name's Ike. Has to do with an interesting translation. Woeful Ike, I believe, is the full name that goes to him.
The more you know. All right, Ike, what do you have? He has 5 arrows for us. So at this point, we're in commentator's no mode. We know exactly what both runners need for pretty much everything. And they're both in the opposite ends of where they need to be.
Absolutely. I don't think we've ever seen Zora's item, so this will be interesting. I'm, what do we think, a male maybe?
I think we just found red mail, actually, so I think we're actually set in terms of armors.
Did I miss that? Was that an Ice Palace?
I could have swore I just saw red mail on one of the runner's screens at this point. What?
That's great. That's so awesome.
Oh, man.
Who wants to pay 500 rupees for some silly little flippers?
I mean, given how early we had access to him, though, like, I mean, that does put Skullwood or Swamp Palace completely in logic as far as Durand's concerned. Well, I guess he doesn't have.
Oh. No, this is good. This is actually really good for Ack. I didn't even think about it. He can't go into Swamp Palace. If he's
okay.
He'll go back to Thieves Town. And Durand just has to get up into Ganon's Tower at this point. And Ice Palace.
Whose situation would you rather be in if you were either of these runners? Would you rather be hunting for the bow, or would you be rather hunting for Quake hookshot?
I hate hunting for the bow. I really do. It's the thing that wrecks me in every like tournament race, always. So I would be, even if I lost the race, I would be happier knowing I had the bow. Quite frankly. And even in like in Overworld glitches, it's just as bad with where the bow can be, only worse in some regards.
Well, absolutely, and you know, at this point, you know, you only need Quake to get into Misery Mire and Hookshot for Ganon's Tower. You think? So, like, I don't know. It just feels like the bow. There's so many more spots for it, but it locks out just a lot of progress. It feels like.
Yeah. So the big thing that's going to happen here is we have Ack's going to do some time lossy things like checking all of Pod and all of Eastern for the bow, and I agree with him. This is the thing to do. The last thing you want to do is search all the rest of the game only to find that the item you were looking for was exactly in front of your face in the dungeon that needed it. The only downside is he needs to get to Thieves Town, and every one of these double dips. The return trip's going to be fast-ish, but it's still time loss, right? It's a minute and a half that you're losing in Eastern because you have to rewalk the first half of it. It's, I think, 2 minutes in Palace of Darkness, just getting back to it to get there. He might be able to couple it with a trip to the Catfish on the return trip, but it's still like a trip he has to do.
Well, here's the interesting thing. He doesn't necessarily need to do Catfish on the return trip because his return trip will be effectively go mode, right?
You would hope. Let's hope. Yes, actually it would be. As soon as he has the bow, he is in go mode and can complete the game. The longer he stays away from Zora, the more likely he is to be in go mode and win the game. For Durand, it's a matter of how long it takes him to go to Ganon's Tower. But when he goes to Ganon's Tower, he'll be able to essentially go get the Ether Medallion and finish Ganon's Tower at the same time. As opposed to Ack, who's had to go in there twice and will have one more time coming his way.
I'm really actually a little bit surprised that Durand has been able to avoid Ganon's Tower for as long as he has, given how early Boker ended up doing it.
Certainly. So it looks like Durand's getting some orange guards and gonna finally probably check the dig spot. I'd also like to note that neither of our runners have done the what are they called? The blacksmith quest or the mushroom that they've had since, was that Link's house? Feels like.
I think it was like one of the uncle checks early. It was super early.
Yeah, so both of them, there's going to be a point where both of them are like, you know, I've been sitting on this powder since the beginning of the game. If it's what I need, I'm gonna be so angry. So Ack knows that he's looking for the bow. He knows the bow's not on the right side of pod. At least how the logic currently is. Eventually, the logic will change such that bow will not be required for that area.
Oh, for the overworld glitches?
Yeah, I think we're going to go ahead and mark that in as a safe for overworld glitches.
Oh, that'd be nice. Yeah.
We also allow other minor glitches to just be part of it, and that was deemed minor.
Well, you have your wish here. It looks like we're doing the kind of the Jeremiah checks over here with the blacksmith, the hammer pegs, and maybe even the purple chest.
I can't imagine. Maybe Ether is over here. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe it is. We're also looking for the powder and the red boomerang. We haven't seen the blue cane yet. We know where the bug net is. Neither of our runners are going to be picking that up. I almost feel like somebody's going to yell and chat like "burn the witch."
I mean, I have little tally marks of every time you're correctly calling something. So.
I'll tell you something. When you generate thousands of seeds at a time to look for like to make sure that there are no patterns, sometimes your brain just makes patterns up. You're like, this thing's going to be there. But that's not true at all. I'm honestly just guessing. We also haven't seen the silver arrows. Ooh, looks like we're gonna do a nifty little. I don't see this clip very often at all. He's gonna go clip up into. Yeah. See where he ends up hopping. Yeah, he's going down into the magic bat. I kind of like that clip a lot.
Couldn't he just able to do it normally because he had the hammer?
Absolutely, but that was with swag.
It's always for the swag, isn't it?
Sometimes it is. So he's got to get that. It's basically he has to hit the red cane and then immediately bring up the menu. There we go. For fake powder. Acktheboker's gonna have a little bit of time save with this hook shot going through Eastern. Hey, look, we found the silver arrows.
I mean, that's nice at this point in time. It's not. I mean,
it's nicer for Durand. It really is because he still has Misery Mire to do. That's about it. But both our runners are totally able to clean up Ganon without silver arrows, I'm sure.
Well, and Butter Sword makes it super easy too.
Yeah, they'll both do 1 cycles on 1 and 2. Round 3 is pretty much a freebie for both of them, for every runner really. And then round 4, we're talking about 12 spins, which is not really that much at all. There will be a little bit of time saved for the silver arrows, absolutely. So both our runners have little advantages over each other. And Graveyard Ledge this time? No. Okay, we're gonna walk right by it again. This, I swear, that particular clip has cost me, like, I spent half an hour on a stream just trying to get it. And once you figure it out, you don't forget it, but it is one that is weirdly more difficult than a lot of other clips in the game.
I am absolutely having a lot of fun learning about these various clips and things like that, so And stuck.
So the trick to that clip, in particular, is as you are doing the spin speed and coming up through the wall, you kind of hold up and right, which pushes you into the right position. Hey, there's the blue cane.
Hey, from the mushroom.
So Durand might be doing this a few times, but it is one of the weirdly more difficult clips to do. Little kind of ghostly high five there. One right after the other. Let's see, where is Ack going? Did he not do the front half of Escape? I know he did the back half.
Yeah, he has not done the front half of Escape yet. So he's cleared out those. I mean, he's cleared out pretty much everything. The blessing for Ack at this point in time is that he does not have the flippers, which means he could be pushed over into doing the back half of Thieves' Town.
Yes. He's entered and done all of Pod, all of Eastern. He knows there's one item in Tower of Hera that he hasn't gotten to yet. There's the Frog Quest still open to him, and there's Thieves' Town. Hopefully he's entirely forgotten about Zora, because that will put him severely on the wrong track. In the same vein, hopefully Durand does not go do Swamp Palace, but on the upside can only do half of it. I think we're finally going to get into the Spike Cave. I'm actually just kidding. This is Ganon's Tower play. No, this is Spike Cave.
Actual Spike Cave. Oh my goodness.
An hour and a half in of walking by this place with the items necessary, and here we go. Our first Spike Cave check. I'm thinking we're going to find powder. Or the red boomerang. It's going to be something fun.
I'm thinking maybe half magic.
Nope, how about a piece of heart? Okay, so Ack finishes up going down to the basement, and this is the big question mark. Where are we going? Where are we going? He's got out the flute. Where are we going? Flute to 3. Going back up to Death Mountain. We're going to go check out the Spike Cave.
After running by it, so no, he's not. Or is he?
That's Spike Cave. Technically, you don't have to reset the camera if you're going there.
Okay.
No, he's going to Hera to go check out what's upstairs. Interesting.
Well, I'm sure he's routing this in together with Spike Cave, so. Or I would hope so.
That's entirely possible. Also like to note that both the runners have 17 hearts.
Very healthy at this point.
In some very pretty colors. We got yellow and green going on.
I really do appreciate putting those new colors in for people with different color sensitivities, by the way.
Oh, absolutely. If there's a good reason behind doing something like that, the devs don't mind any extra effort. Ooh, we're getting a Mimic Cave check coming up here. One of the freest things a lot of the times, like, it's painful to go to Mimic Cave after you've done Turtle Rock in no major glitches, but in overworld glitches, it's just like, yeah, okay, we'll go up there. This is nothing.
And we find just 5 bomb upgrade.
So with Ack's knowledge of what's going on here, he might get the item off of Moldorm and then peace out, or never find out what it is.
What?
Hey, when you're on with your okay.
What is he?
Ooh.
Is he saying, yeah, it's totally got to be in the basement when we know it's on Moldorm?
Oh, that's doubling down, because that was you know, practicing your hovering over a hole that drops you down 2 things.
This is so bad for. I mean,
that's what happened. We're just gonna look past it, and I think Durand might have messed up the clip into Ganon's Tower. That's okay. He'll be able to mirror flute and get back to the thing. When you're doing this clip, you want to push up against the top wall on the right there. Oh.
Uh-oh. Durand. Don't be doing what you're doing.
Durand's going for it. It's fine. There could be something in here. What are we missing? The red boomerang and the powder.
Red boomerang, powder, half magic. Oh, and Boker is slightly upset, and he's like, "Nah, if it's there, I'm done. I'm done," he says.
That's fair. So we're gonna check out Spike Cave. Well, this is an upside though, right? Because he went to Tower of Hair for one item, right? I think that means he's willing to go and check Thieves Town next, right? That would be the next. You're willing to go into a pendant dungeon that you've already been into before for one. Why not go into one that has 4 or 3?
Yeah, I would hope so.
And Durand, luckily, is only going to lose a little bit of time in Swamp. Probably check all the way to the left side. That's unfortunate. Not much you can do about that. But at least won't be able to get to the back half. So it's a little time consuming, but not the worst kind of time consuming, which is going all the way to the boss.
All right, Ack, where are you going now?
I'm not entirely sure. I can see maybe a world wrap about to happen. Uh-oh. I think I know where Ack's going. This isn't good.
Where you're gonna have to fill me in. I'm waiting with bated breath here.
I think Ack's gonna go over towards the Turtle Rock entrance, and then jump down from the Turtle Rock entrance to the Catfish, and then probably mirror, and maybe check Zora. He's not stuck yet. Gotta push left. You're getting there. Down away. Down away.
Man, he's right around there.
Whew, this is like danger, Will Robinson. Maybe he'll check the Mimic Cave. If it's Mimic Cave, we're fine. Because you don't get back from Mimic Cave. We're fine. We're fine.
Okay.
Whew, that was dangerous. Because there is a way to go basically off of the Turtle Rock ledge, straight down to Catfish, which is beautiful.
Just not what he wanted to see, or not what we wanted to see from him right now.
All right, so let's flute to 3 and get you on your way. And Durand, get out of that dungeon. Go to, at the worst case, go to Ice Palace, right? It's a little actually surprising that he went and he's been doing all the crystal dungeons. Why? That was confusing. He didn't hit the switches.
What, Durand?
Well, this happens to all of us every once in a while. He's gonna go over there. He's gonna check the left side, and then he's gonna have to come all the way back and flip the switch. Which that happens. Where's Ack go? Ack, where are you going? Ack? Ack?
I think he's doing it.
Ack? No, you have better places to be, Ack.
Oh boy.
Oh, this is even worse. Ooh, Durand, I feel sorry for you right now.
That dead rock is doing God's work right there, trying to stop Ack from doing what he's doing.
Well, it looks... Alright, so Durand just realized you didn't hit the pegs. Ack? Wait, this might be good. This is actually good because I think if he goes any further... No, he auto-walked. He's fine. Okay. But don't mirror, Ack. Just check the Catfish. Don't get out your mirror. Don't go to Zora. Don't do it, Ack.
Oh, but it's the logical play.
Ack. Okay, Ack, this is fine. Hey, we found half magic.
Fine.
Okay, so the sad part of this is that Ack will be able to finish Swamp Palace. So he might be putting time in there. And this is going to be one of those... It'll be the last place that he can possibly look for the bow. And that's never a feel good.
Well, and Durand still has a couple places that he has to check. Remember, we have Quake Medallion that is in Ganon's Tower that he needs for Misery Mire, and then the Hookshot, which he'll need for Ganon's Tower as well. So,
right, he's going to have a little bounce back and forth between the two places.
Yeah, so it's... I mean, neither runner is in a what would be considered an ideal position right now.
Absolutely, and this is the end of Durand's trip into here. He's got 2 places left to go. He's got Ice Palace, he's got Ganon's Tower. Both of them are good. Okay. Admittedly, if he goes into Ice Palace, he might see that hook shot and might go back into Swamp.
When Ice Palace is a crystal, I hope not.
Well, he'll finish it, absolutely, but then it's a question of where do you go next, and I think, and this is entirely a possibility, a lot of the easiest way to clip into... Oh, there's some bombs. The easiest way to... Are we walking out?
I think Durand forgot to get the first treasure chest in Swamp Palace.
Oh. Okay. We might have a high five then. At 1 hour and 41, a quick little high five at the, was this the map? I think it's the map chest.
Yeah, it's the original map chest.
No high five.
What? Hacker, oh my god. Is there something about that treasure chest that is just off-putting for runners, or...
I don't know. Ack went back for it though. This is fine. This is fine. Okay. The thing is, so getting into Ganon's Tower, there's a really easy clip if you have the hook shot. And Durand might be hoping that the hook shot is not in Ganon's Tower to do that easy clip. The upside is, I think Durand has literally nowhere else to go in the game. So, Ice Palace or Ganon's Tower. Let's go. And after Ack finishes up Swamp Palace here, the only place he can go is Thieves Town and the Blacksmiths. Which is all right around the same space. And then we'll have a race of both our runners needing to finish Ganon's Tower. And... Ack needing to finish up Pod, Eastern, and Ganon's Tower. Well, where's Ganon?
You know, with the way this race started, with so much value in that early game, if you would have told me that we would be looking at a seed this long, I wouldn't have believed you.
That's fair. And I really do think that Ack is going to end up doing a full clear of this dungeon. The big key was on left side, bombs were in the big chest.
Yep. Yeah, this is going to be a full clear for him.
So, unless he is sure that there's an item on our boss here, I don't think Ack would finish this dungeon. Hey, we found the red boomerang. We are just a powder away from 100% knowledge of this game.
That is a little sad.
Yeah, it happens. Although, to be, fair, An hour and 44 minutes in, that's pretty impressive.
I mean, you're not wrong there. It's nice to know where everything is, and we've even gone through most of Ganon's Tower by now. Oh god, the chest counts at the end of the game are going to be just astronomically high, aren't they?
They certainly will for Ack. No, actually, they're both... Yeah, they're both just going to be really high. Because, well, Durand might not check... Might not check? East? West? Might not check one side again, his tower. Because the only thing Durand needs at this point is that Quake Medallion. Well, I say needs. He also needs the blue boomerang, but that's just like, you know, having a towel in the Hitchhiker's Guide.
The most useful item ever. It is worth noting, you know, if Durand was waiting until he could completely full clear Ganon's Tower before heading up there, he now can. It can absolutely get all the way through to Agatu and complete it.
Right.
So maybe that's what Durand was waiting on?
It's entirely possible. Although it's in Overworld glitches, as soon as you can get like a good amount of chests in Ganon's Tower, it's usually good to prioritize it. It's the whole 22 locations, usually something good in there.
Yeah, I guess at this point, I'm just trying to figure out, you know, a rationale why Durand would have avoided it up to this point in time. That's the only thing I can come up with.
Absolutely. And we have some statements in chat about like who's ahead. It's still, we can't say. They're both circling the drain in on towards the item they need, but until one of them actually gets those items, I mean it's really hard to determine like who's in the lead. Ack certainly has a lot more stuff to do, but it's all quick. So if he like immediately goes to Thieves Town next and doesn't go for like the blacksmith quests, he might have, you know, an advantage. And if Durand goes the right side of Ganon's Tower, which is a little faster when you're actually checking all the items, you know, that could play into it too.
Well, there's also things that Durand would have to do, for example, you know, Hookshot Cave while you're up there. I mean, I suppose Durand still has to do that because he just now got the hookshot.
That's true. And that's much faster than checking a lot of Ganon's Tower. Although these are the trade-offs, right? You can finish Ganon's Tower, although if you finish it, you get basically thrown off the mountain. Which is just something to consider, is that you're going to be tossed back in the Eastern Dark World. Alright, Ack has finished Swamp Palace. And now has to basically, like, there's nowhere else to go, buddy. You're going up to Thieves Town next. After you, it looks like, based off of the way he's doing this, probably gonna do the blacksmith first. It's 3 relatively quick checks.
Yeah, it does look like that's what he's doing.
I mean, in this case, at least the blacksmith is literally on the way.
Like, do you do the 2 blacksmith, like Jeremiah himself, and then the hammer pegs, and then go do Thieves Town before you go and leave the area for purple chest?
I think that would be my pathing, because he knows that there's a cache of items in the back of Thieves Town. But we are definitely getting closer. As soon as he gets that bow, he is like all over this. He thought about picking up Ether to have, you know, that 100%. We'll have to ding him for that later. Skipping out on that item. So to recap the current situation, we have Durand who needs Quake to get into Misery Mire, which is where he is headed right now in Ganon's Tower, past Ice Armos. And Ack who needs the bow to finish Pod, Eastern, and Ganon's Tower. The bow is hiding next to Blind in Thieves Town.
Oh, and he is doing purple chest first.
It's not the worst. I mean, it's something to knock out. He already gave up the mushroom, so he's gambled on the fact that the bow is not at the magic bat, and it's a fair gamble because he has not seen the powder, or you know, none of us have seen the powder. I'm starting to think the powder is upstairs in Ganon's Tower.
At this point, it's got to be, I would think.
That's scary when we can narrow it down.
You say scary, I say, I don't know, complete.
Alright, so Ack is... Both of our runners are in the right place. There will be a slight advantage at this point to Durand because he can just clean up Ganon's Tower. We might see Ack, after he gets the bow, immediately going to Ganon's Tower as well. Because it's going to toss him off the pyramid right next to Pod, and he can go do Pod. Or he might do it more traditional, where he does Pod and Eastern and then utilizes the bat to drop off on top of the pyramid. I don't know. Whatever one's more clever for him.
I will say, I think both of the runners, like their mentality right now is probably a little bit surprised that they have not seen their opponent finish yet. Because they've both cleared a lot.
Oh yeah, no, this is gonna be like, I'm thinking 190s for collection rate by the time we're done here. This is the proverbial last possible place I could check.
190s is just obscene. I mean, there's no other word for it.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they'll be in the 180s realistically, but when you look at how much they've collectively covered, it's entirely possible. Like, it's that funny point where you're getting towards the end and you're like, if I skip the next 4 chests, I will have skipped a total of 4 chests in this game.
Yeah. Hey, there's that blue boomerang.
Yeah, we're getting some good parity here. We'll see if Durand ends up using it to its full advantage.
I mean, anything you can do to save time over Boker right now, I suppose.
That's true. Alright, so at 1 hour, 50... Wait for it. 52 minutes and 43 seconds, Acktheboker is in go mode. He says, I don't care about blind, you can stay in this dungeon for the rest of your life. And he is on his way. Durand has a little bit more time before they hit go mode, which is good. Boker needs this to get those final crystals. And it looks like he's going to do the Pod Eastern play and finish a little more traditionally from Ganon's Tower. I still see him clipping into Ganon's Tower to save the time of the crystal cutscene, which is super bueno.
Just the little things, you know, saving the frames.
But yeah, that is a late go mode with 2 dungeons still left to complete. 3 technically, because we kind of count Ganon's Tower as a dungeon in this, seeing as you can do it out of order. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, Durand. You walked in the wrong portal, Durand. There's no going back. This is fine. Just go forward. I'm not entirely sure where they're going. I think they realized they made a mistake of walking right past the randomizer room.
Oh, right.
Only thing to do at this point is to just keep going. Gonna work out in his favor, though.
Yeah, there was nothing in Rando Room.
I would suggest picking up these arrows, though, while you're here. Not that he's super low, but having a few extras aren't going to hurt, especially when you have silvers.
Chat saying, this is fine with burning boats. I mean, that's kind of been the story of this seed, I think.
This has been one of the more awkwards. Yeah, so the only thing Durand's gonna have to do after getting this item is finish this dungeon, which I would suggest, you know, you're here, clear it out, and then head off to Misery Mire, and then kill himself a Ganon. Ack has to finish Pod, finish Eastern, and then finish Ganon's Tower. This is gonna be kind of close.
I mean, right now, I think the big story is also how much time Durand can save with those silvers.
There'll be a bit of that. We'll be able to save a little on the Vidi kill, and save a little on the Ganon fight. But we got Ack heading down to the basement of Pod. It's a question of, do we remember where the big key in Misery Mire was? It was actually in a relatively free location, but it'll probably be about the 4th chest that he checks. Oh, this is in my mind, I'm trying to like work out all the different timings and how things are gonna play out here. Should take Ack about should take him about 2 minutes to get through Eastern after this. Maybe 2.5. Because I mean, the quick kill's relatively quick. And he could just switch to Mirror after he knocks that mask off. Or he'll do it when he gets to the other side. Ooh.
Alright, meanwhile, Durand's going through the gauntlet portion. Relatively easy when you have red mail and butter sword and silver arrows. Although...
Magic for days, bottles, 17 hearts. Sorry. Just continuing on for you.
I mean, I appreciate that. I really do. I've forgotten about some of those.
The Mire Big Key was in the compass chest, if I recall correctly. Which is one of the earlier checks that you do, but it's not the earliest.
Yeah, it's not quite the God Mire as it's been called before. Even with the arrow miss, still gets the 0 cycle. That's very nicely done by Durand.
Absolutely. Whoa, this is a tasty meatball here. Because we have to remember, like, there is no climb to Ganon's Tower. You don't have to reset the camera. This is pretty much Axe going right in, right behind Durand. He is getting, I would say no love, but like a little extra love there on the bridge from all those guards. Really paying attention to him there.
It's all that Axe body spray.
So to anyone who's just joining right now, we have Acktheboker getting his 7th crystal from the Armos Knights. We have Durand finishing up Ganon's Tower, but still has to go to Misery Mire and collect his 7th crystal. And Ack has to go back up the tower and finish Aghanim 2. And we are just never, ever, ever gonna see the powder.
I'm a little bit sad. At the same time, I'm not. Oh, didn't quite get that quick kill. There's Durand on Moldor 2. We'll be crossing here directly and over to Agatu. But yeah, Ack's going to be right on his tail. And Durand's still got has all of Misery Mire. Yeah, I think Ack's in a pretty enviable spot right now. Oh no, looks like Ack might be stuck there. Oh, no, okay.
Yep, so we got Ack not resetting the camera, but definitely going in again in his tower. Ooh, so we have Ack needing to finish the tower climb, and Durand needs to finish Misery Mire. The tower climb is a little bit longer than the Misery Mire play, but Durand still has to get over there, do it, and come back.
Yeah, Ack's going to be teleported right there, and we'll be able to drop right in.
And then it's a question of, as you mentioned earlier, the Silvers versus the Butter Sword. So this is very much anybody's game.
I think it's also worth mentioning that both runners have exhibited some exhaustion, some not great decision making here at the very end of their run. So not the cleanest runs for either of these runners. A mistake or two could really swing things one way or the other.
Absolutely. But it's this has been a long run, longer than I'm sure both of these guys are used to seeing at any given time, and basically full clears of the game. Gotta love the hundo runs.
And it's ironic that they both found their go mode items in relatively early spots that both of them just wanted to avoid. Durand just putting off Ganon's Tower for so long, and then Ack putting off Thieves' Town.
Yeah, and I gotta imagine that part of this, like, as a runner, you hit the 2-hour mark, you still have a whole dungeon to go, and you, like you said, you find an item in a pretty free location, and you're like, oh, this is no good. But then you look over, and your opponent hasn't finished yet, and that's just kind of like, there's gonna be a brief respite where you're like, oh, I still have a chance. Maybe I'm ahead. Maybe they got trolled worse than me. And then you think back, no, I full cleared the game. How could anyone get trolled worse than me? And the truth is, both these guys got trolled pretty hard. So, I mean, there's like probably a world of emotions going on as they're running this race.
Oh, absolutely. Worth mentioning, if you are a fan of Randomizer, there's still lots of Randomizer action going on. Maybe not so much tonight, but there is another Overworld's Glitch match, looks like tomorrow at 3 o'clock Eastern Time between Futon and Troya. And Vitor, looks like you're also racing tomorrow, aren't you?
Yeah, tomorrow at 8 p.m. Gonna have my second race against Zero Rush. He's currently up a match. Looking forward to it. I just love playing this. I don't care what the outcome is. I'm gonna have a load of fun.
Also looks like Chex Human versus Frame is also tomorrow night at 8:30. Those channels have yet to be announced. But in other news, we do have tomorrow at 4 o'clock Eastern the semifinal between Hippo and Christos Owen in the Spring Randomizer Standard Mode tournament. Hippo versus Christos Owen at 4 o'clock Eastern. That's also going to be out there. Still lots of Randomizer going on. All Randomizer all the time.
Absolutely. And all the other great games that are on Speed Gaming that are worth checking out. These guys are great. They put up with all of our Link to the Past tournament play, the Randomizer stuff, and just wonderful people. So make sure you're following all of the Speed Gaming channels. That's Speed Gaming and Speed Gaming 2 through 6. And I believe there's a German and a French one, and maybe a Spanish one. We found powder?
I think we did find powder. I think Boker has been opening some chests just for you.
See, now, I'm gonna feel bad if opening those chests are, you know, like the thing. Because, I mean, we have both of our... They're going into the boss fights at the same time.
Oh,
This
and
is...
yeah, it's so close. And Durand was even showing us some of that Misery Myers spooky action.
This is... What do you do about this? Like... We got... Viddy going down. Ack, ooh, getting a 0 there, but should be able to finish it up on this one. There we go. And I don't even know what to say. We got a crystal being held up. We got a bat flying away. We got everybody going to Ganon.
So close.
Durand has to go to the Link's house portal to get up to Ganon, I think, or go some other way. There are other ways to get there.
Now, I just want to make sure I understand. It's the same as the standard mode tournament. If they finish within 3 seconds of one another, it is considered a tie, correct?
I believe that's what's in the rules document.
I mean, that is clearly a possibility at this point in time.
With the silver arrows, I think you might be right. But currently, the advantage is Ack, very much so. He's got the lead into this race. Excuse me.
Yeah, he's already in phase 3 right now. Although we've seen, oh, that's an unfortunate bonk there.
Yeah, it's a question of how well Ack does with the 12 spins he needs to get here. Because I expect Durand to have the exact same first phase.
Setting up his torch glitch right away. Very nicely done.
Now, getting that, I assume that he should be alright getting triples on each of these. Oh, missed that one. Got that one. Got that one. I'm not going to say that after. Got that one.
He got it. He got it. He got it. All right. Already on phase 3 for Durand as well. Oh, ooh. This is going to be... Oh!
Took a hit there, but still doing okay. This is going to be close, guys. So right now, it looks like Ack is probably gonna win. Just staying up here and oh my god, the...
Oh man!
Oh my goodness. Never mind. Ack is currently in the explosion sequence. And both of our runners are in a fanfare.
It's within 3 seconds from crossing that bridge. So Ack, okay, look at about 43. I don't think Durand goes it, but man, that was close. What's our official times?
Well, this is interesting. We'll have to double check the timing of this, but it lists the times different than what we're seeing up here. So we're actually going to not be able to announce a winner right now.
Huh. So yeah, we're gonna do some, I guess, retiming. We had to do it, I think, in the spring tournament as well when they were so close. We wanted to retime it just to make sure to see how close it was. That's as spicy as it gets, guys.
All right, looks like we're gonna have a quick interview with them if we can bring them on.
Yeah, that's, I mean, you can see the sync in their menus right now. They're just going through the credits. We're going to try to work on getting them both in here. That's I mean, if this is your first time seeing an Overworld glitch race like it is myself, that was a treat. Yeah, we do not know if it's a tie or not. It appeared, based on our screens and our looking, that Acktheboker may have had a quicker finish. However, it was close enough that we're going to go through some retiming here because of some various delays and whatnot. So we can't actually announce a winner right now.
Yeah. So,
man, so what's got to be going through their minds? And we'll get them in here real quick, but after that, effectively 100% seed is going through your mind as these runners, as we're thinking, oh man, we got to retime this.
yeah. I don't think we've told them that yet.
Oh, I'll let you do that. How about that?
Yeah, no, I'll be happy to tell them as soon as we get them in. But hopefully we can get them in here soon, just to very briefly, you know, kind of get their thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, I got to imagine that they're feeling a little bit salty about how the seed went to begin with. Because that, I mean, over 2 hours, you know, when you're playing at a level that both Durand and Boker play at, you don't expect to have a 2-hour seed at this point in time. This really pulled them around. And then to come this close and, you know, we're going to have to retime it to get an official winner or even a tie. My goodness.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and bring him in here for this. We have another race coming up, so just one second. Hello, guys. You are both live on the air. Wanted to tell you that was one heck of an amazing race. GG to both of you. And we can't tell you who won.
Yeah.
We actually have to end up retiming the race. That was, one, so close, and two, the finishes on speed racing, I think one of them didn't come in at the right time.
So it was a delay.
Yeah, so there was a bit of a delay on one. And just wanted to say that was an amazing 100% of this game. I haven't seen one of those in a long time.
Yeah.
That's my second one today. was that even an Overworld glitches seed? Did you need to do any glitches to do that? I think there was like maybe one required. Everything else looked pretty clear cut and dry.
I don't think you guys had to do many, if any. Definitely getting the fire rod early, but I don't think you even needed to do the glitch for it. Yeah, you guys, what's funny is there were times when you had the opportunity to not do the glitch, but still like did the land bridge on Death Mountain anyway, even though Durand had the hammer. He was just like, I'll glitch over anyway. It's kind of fun to see. My favorite was Durand actually went and did the magic bat through the clip to like do the screen wrap back in, even though he had the hammer on him.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that. I made several mistakes like that. Like for example, like the glitch to get the pyramid items. I don't know why I felt like I needed to take a death there. I had a flute.
Yeah.
That was bad, but I was already down to less than 2 hearts when I realized that. I'm like, well, might as well die now. I'm close.
Sure. So we're gonna do a brief thing, because up right after this, for everyone watching, we have a last edition Super Mario Brothers 3 race between Bubba7 and Mr. Cab. So definitely stick around for that. But Ack and Durand, what was like your main feel on this particular seed, other than we know you did 100%?
I just stared at SRTV waiting for him to dot done, I think, for the last 45 minutes. That's all I did. So I was like, he's got to be done any minute, right? What's going on?
Same here. I made so many terrible mistakes. Things that even look bad in a non-glitch run. Like, so many bad things. I can't even count them.
Well, you're definitely gonna have to go back and check out that moth fight. That was unfortunate, but hey, you got him. You got him in the end.
Yeah.
Oh,
I've been there. But yeah, so it was a wonderful run. You guys had boots from 0 seconds in. That must have felt good finding those. I'm just kidding.
No, we need more of that. That's the only way to play, as far as I'm concerned. That's what sold me on learning all this stuff. They were like, by the way, you get boots first, and I was like, all right, you know what? I'll learn. That's fine.
Absolutely. And actually having one tempered sword kill, that was surprising. It was one surprising. Very interesting.
Oh, yeah, the swords were crazy.
I'm just kind of dragging this out because I want to see what your final collection rates are. Okay.
191 and whoa.
174. I mean, that's still pretty up there.
Part of that's because I skipped those 4 chests behind the bombable wall in GT. I don't know how I managed that, so...
That actually saved you some time. That actually
did.
Although I think with the amount of time you spent in the portals, I don't know if that actually saved you any time.
Yeah, I thought surely there's a way to get back, right? No, I guess not. I've never had that happen. That's a first.
Yeah, that can happen. But thank you guys so much. We will let you know as soon as we retime the race and let you know who won the first one. If it was within 3 seconds of each other, then we will mark it as a tie and do the traditional there. But when is your next race scheduled between the two of you? Do you have it scheduled already?
I believe Saturday morning.
Okay.
Afternoon-ish, yeah.
So we'll look forward to seeing you Saturday morning, afternoon for your next race. And then we're going to go ahead and, unfortunately, we're kind of crunched for time, so we're going to pass this off for the SMB3 race, which I'm probably going to end up watching because I do love watching SMB3. Do you have any last words, Ack?
Oh, no problem. Thank you for the restream and commentary, tracking, all this stuff as always. Appreciate it, gang.
Sure
Yeah,
thing.
it was a lot of fun.
Nice. Durand, anything else? A lot of fun?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Vitasia, anything you'd like to add to that?
No, just happy to be a part of this race today. Big shout out. Thank you so much, VTorp. Also, big shout out to Danny for our tracking.
Yes, big shout out to Danny and Cyclone working behind the scenes. And all of you guys watching, be sure you get a chance to follow these runners. They're amazing. Follow Vitasia, helping me out on the commentary. Try some Overworld glitches. Go to the website, ALTTPR.com. Go try it out. Try out a regular randomizer if you're not as keen on learning all of the clipping through walls stuff. But hey, as Ack said, you start out with the boots, and that's already a win. I've been VTorp. It's been a pleasure.
And I'm Vitasia. Yep. Have a great one, guys.